That's the game last night from the Estadio da Luz in Portugal. Benfica hosting Liverpool. A 3-1 win for Liverpool in the night. That puts them well in the driver's seat ahead of next Wednesday's return leg at Anfield.
It seems like it's done and dusted, but you have to look at it. It was such a difficult game for Liverpool, as expected. Sadly, the Benfica goalkeeper, last goal, let it in because he made it easy for theirs.
Yeah, that hesitation.
Came out for the game too far. You don't come out that far. Just make a little step as if you're coming out. Stay put right beside your post. Close the distance, close the angle, and it becomes difficult for the striker to score. Basically, I blame the keeper for that last goal, but you have to give big credit to Keita. Massive pass. Immediately he led that pass. The whole defense line were flat-footed. Can turn to get the ball, and basically Diaz and a goalkeeper and it's a goal. But big performance on the night. You expect an experienced side like Liverpool to go all out, probably see how to get that result. I did look at the game in favor of Liverpool, but possibly could get a draw, but it never came out that way. Exceptional game on the night. It looks like the Champions League, and you can say the Champions League big stage is back.
Yeah, and now you look at Liverpool, the entire campaign, they've been efficient getting the goals when they need the goals and getting the results just when they need the results. Now, how far do you think this efficiency takes them in the competition, considering the fact that they're still in for the quadruple? They won the Carabao Cup against Chelsea. They're just a point behind league leaders Manchester City in the Premier League. They're in the FA Cup semi-final, and here they're well in the driver's seat here.
I think the idea of the quadruple is a problem because it begins to set your mind on so many things instead of one target or two targets.
Yeah.
Right now, but you look at the Liverpool side, they have the combination in terms of a squad.
But haven't they got the quality, to grab the quadruple?
That's what I'm saying. They have it, but it's going to be difficult. Especially for you to win the quadruple, you have to hope that other teams who are doing good also slip. And gives you the opportunity, considering the number of games you have to play. They have the Champions League, and right now, I was listening to the coach. I love the mentality. He said it's just first half of the game. Because I watched Liverpool's game against Inter Milan, won first leg 2-0. Second leg, but for a red card, probably they would have been in for it. It was difficult in Anfield for them because of the mentality they carried during that game.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's going to be a tough game in the next round. You can't say Benfica are out. They have to keep the focus, play the way they played in the first leg, and probably get a second win.
Right now, let's leave Liverpool and Benfica and head off to England, where the other game of the night took place at the Etihad, where Manchester City took on Atletico Madrid. And oh boy, you look at the stats. Dreadful from Atletico Madrid perspective. Stayed in the game, which is their normal principle. Stay in the game.
Say so.
Stay in the game as long as possible. They did, but you've got to give yourself a chance. You look at the stats. No single shot at goal. No ball at target, no threat to Manchester City at all. This is game sat back. How do you win games like that?
It reminds me of the Chelsea side many years ago. Most people will look at it and say it's a packing of bus. But for me, it's not. It's a game strategy. You have to play to your strength. If you're a defensive side, you're playing against Manchester City and your strength is to defend more. If the game ended 0-0, we wouldn't be saying that. It wouldn't be like that. He said, oh, Atletico Madrid helped Man City in England. That would have been the storyline. Sadly, 70-something minute, they got that win, that goal from, what's his name? Kevin De Bruyne. But you have to give credit to Foden, who slipped in the past. But you look at Kevin De Bruyne, you realize one thing, such a dangerous player. And that is why Chelsea fans were thankful to Rudiger at the final, who had to take him off the field, because you keep Kevin De Bruyne on the field of play, he could spring surprises, and that's what we saw. But for me, it was a masterclass game. It wasn't a defensive structure. The only part I faulted Atletico Madrid was that the counter-attack system didn't really work for them on the night. If they added a good counter-attack system, it would have been a perfect night for Atletico Madrid.
And now that's the problem, because we're talking about a Champions League where away goal rule has been abolished. With away goal, you'd say, oh, massive results, we've got a chance. You're not coming out here to play anything. They didn't bring anything to City at all. And now when you look at the facts that they've got, attacking threats in Angel Correa, they've got Yao Felix, they've got Luis Suarez, they've got a Koke who could spring up that passes, Jeffrey Gondobia could, provide defensive solidity. And they offered nothing attacking-wise here. what's the game plan heading to the Wanda Metropolitano then?
Remember a few seasons ago they played against Liverpool. Same system of game, but they did beat Liverpool out of the competition, the Champions League.
Yeah, but there was the away goal.
It's going to. So we have to give a lot of credit to Manchester City because they play like a machinery. Even though you are defensive, and make it difficult for you to attack. Even though you want to do that counter attack, it becomes so difficult. Perfect machinery by Guardiola. And before this game, the coach of Atletico, Simeone, did say that Guardiola was lucky to have some good players over the time. And it would be the same story with Manchester City. No, but for me right now, it seems almost done and dusted for Atletico Madrid because in the second leg, they have to come out. You have to come out to get a goal. Yeah. And if you come out to get a goal, most likely City will score a goal.
That's the danger.
City is such a machinery.
That's the danger.
Come on, it's the Champions League and the better team always win. I think City are a better team ahead of Atletico. I saw Atletico against Manchester United. Yeah. They weren't that good against Manchester United. Yeah. Just that Manchester United played poorly for me.
No, Manchester United, just put it right. Manchester United are a terrible team. Okay. At least for the season.
You said it.
No.
So
I'm helping you.
From the horses.
No, I'm helping you.
It wasn't me.
It's something you're not brave enough to see. They've been terrible all season.
Let me be brave enough.
Yeah.
Manchester City, United are terrible this season.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, let's leave the Manchester game, where the younger brothers felt the other brothers helped them.
I'm trying to even understand what you're saying.
All right, so, Manchester United, the younger brothers in Manchester failed against Atletico. So the other brothers swooped in and, cleaned up their mess and got the job done.
I get it now. I think the noisy neighbors can be younger brother in this case. City wouldn't agree to that, and I can't imagine.
City are the elder brothers now.
They're now elder brother.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't know that. When did that start?
Well,
because most United fans will go to the trophy cabinet and tells you we are still the senior here, we are still the elder brother.
That hasn't been a story over the last 10 years.
But come on, you have to give respect to history. You have to give respect to history. Manchester United are the real United. City are just the noisy neighbors who had a good buyer with plenty money, came and bought a lot of players.
So United haven't got money anymore.
They still have money.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Come on, you look at the history record, United are still up there. These are just the noisy
neighbors.
If
it continues like this, we're talking 10 years of some trophy drought.
Better now meet a United fan outside the studio, please.
All right, now we're talking 10 years. And look at the 10 years now. Pep Guardiola has won 3 Premier League titles in 4 seasons.
Mancini did too.
Yeah, Pellegrini did too.
Yeah.
So they've brought in some serial winners that have won them trophies. And
it's not stopping.
United, who have they got since Alexander Champion Ferguson stepped out? They brought in David Moyes first, was a disaster. Brought in Louis van Gaal, handed them 1 FA Cup. Brought in Jose Mourinho, 1 League Cup and 1 UEFA Europa League, and that's the best they've gone. Brought in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, an absolute fraud.
Disaster.
An absolute fraud.
Fraud.
And now they brought in the man on interim basis, talking Ralph Ragnick. The gang pressing progenitor is now being depressed.
He's a sport director.
Oh, okay.
Not a coach.
And now they'll bring Pochettino, who would coach them for 4 years. They wouldn't even see a silverware.
I don't know why.
So now it's a direction. All right, sorry. Rooney said yesterday Monday Night Football said, he preferred Poch over Ten Hag. Well, he has his reasons. Let's leave there. We're not here to do a United show. We'll have more time maybe later in the coming days. Lord help us. Now let's talk Chelsea Real Madrid. It's another exclusive night from the weekend. They say team is as good as their last game, and if that's the assessment, then Chelsea dreadful against Brentford at the same venue. But now they face 13-time European champions. They've got to up their game here.
I agree. I think it's a moral booster for Real Madrid, especially after beating Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought Paris Saint-Germain would get a better of Real Madrid. But with that experience of beating Paris Saint-Germain, who's Chelsea, yes, they're the defending champion, but they've been playing badly in recent times. You look at Chelsea, the mentality isn't the same. Like the same with what they had last year. Good performances last year. They were always fighting for the balls. This season, they seem to be winning the games. But when you look at the attitude, you look at the combination of play, it's not the same Chelsea we saw last season. And for me, it's a dicey situation. It depends on the Chelsea that will show up. Because there's something that happens when you lose.
How many Chelsea do we have this season? How many shades of Chelsea have we seen this season?
Maybe 3.
3.
For me, maybe 3. The one that settles for a draw often.
Oh, so which would you say is the best and you're hoping? Many Chelsea fans will be hoping that shade of Chelsea show up later tonight against Real Madrid.
That Chelsea that knows how to win a cup. That Chelsea with Kai Havertz getting that win for you and the fight hard to get that win. Probably if that Chelsea shows up today, they've done it before against Real Madrid, they can do it again against Real Madrid. But it's the problem I have with Real Madrid has been the fact that they're over dependent on Karim Benzema. And when Benzema is taken out of the picture, you don't have a Real Madrid.
But more often than always, 8 out of 10 times he's been there and he's delivered for them. So, you've got to depend on a guy like that.
It's the same story. Last season he was there. He seemed to be the guy that was delivering for them. But Chelsea did cage him and they couldn't do anything about it.
It's a different, different Benzema that City. Look at the numbers, 31 goals already and still counting.
But there's another problem from the Madrid's point of view. You saw the midfield. If Carlos, the coach, comes up with the same midfield he normally plays, which
Toni
is Casemiro, Kroos, Modric, I think they'll be in for it because it's going to be difficult for them. You expect the younger players to come in.
Well, they've got a bench.
As they did against Paris Saint-Germain.
They've got a bench that has the likes of Fede Valverde, the likes of Camavinga. They could come in and change the complexity.
It's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's what I'm saying. It's good to start early against Chelsea. Bringing these younger lads against Chelsea early. If it sticks with the older lads in the midfield, there's bound to be a problem.
All right, Villarreal and Bayern, have we got a game on our hands?
Such a game, massive game for me. For me, that's the biggest game for me. Why? Because we have a Villarreal side that seems like underachievers. People don't really know Villarreal, but you look at the performance against Juventus, you know that they're such a classy side, and the performances beating Chelsea at the time, nearly beating Chelsea at the Super Cup, and had beaten United.
They beat them
at the Europa Cup.
Well, so everyone beats Manchester United.
Can't be. Right,
Sorry.
James.
Yeah.
But that has been that combination. That has been the serious thing about Villarreal. Such a side, resolute from the middle. And I think it would be such a difficult game for Bayern Munich.
Chelsea Real Madrid scoreline.
I knew you were going to go there next. Chelsea Real Madrid scoreline. I'll try to avoid that, please.
Chelsea Real Madrid scoreline,
Come on, Bright.
Chelsea Real Madrid scoreline.
Such a heavy one for I don't know, Bright. I do not know. The octopus
scoreline
showing me anything on the crystal
scoreline.
No scoreline for you.
All right.
I can try another.
Villarreal, Bayern.
Bayern will win 1-0.
All right. Thank you very much for joining the conversation this morning. We're back here tomorrow. We'll talk about the rest of the stories, the MPFL retrospectively, and of course do some preview of the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup draws, and a lot more. Well, the conversation continues beyond our screen, catches and social media, on the Spectrum TV NG on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Twitter as well. www.SpectrumTv.ng, that's our website. Check us out on Spectrum TV on YouTube, and let's continue the conversation on sport this morning. I am Bright James alongside Blyden, and it's a wrap. Have fun, guys. To enjoy the rest of your day.